Sorry about the 43 minutes late. I think it's later than I planned to be. I know that it's like, you don't have a schedule, it's whatever you set, but I like set like a personal schedule for myself. Like, you're gonna do it from this time. Fortunately, directly before I was gonna stream, I watched someone do a react to the movie Up. And I forgot that that movie makes me cry. Like, I was watching the thing and I haven't watched the movie in ages just because I've been like downright avoiding it. I've been like full blown just, not going near it because the first 11 minutes make me cry. Like, heavy, intense, like, from my eyes, like, leakage where I'm just like, no. You know where you like you use your clothes to like stop your tears? No, yep, no, I'm totally absorbing my tears with my sleeves. Yeah, that's what I was doing. And it was just like 11 minutes and I'm just like a mess. And so I watched someone react to the whole movie. Someone who's never seen the movie before. And I did this directly after watching them react to the movie Luca. It's one where it's like sea creatures. They're like boys that are sea creatures. I'm like, oh my! I've actually seen the movie, and the movie is so cute. I recommend it so much. Someone called Billy Binges. The guy was watching the two of them most recently, and they're so cute. It's like an adorable Pixar movies. They're both Pixar. Pixar I still think does some of the best animation when it comes to the Disney ones. They just like know how to hit you in the feels. It's just like, why Pixar? Why do you make us cry? Like, ugly cry like this. Regardless, Luca was beautiful. I'm pretty sure it was Luca. And then Up made me cry like 4 or 5. And this was just the reaction. I wasn't even watching the full movie. I wasn't even the person like watching the thing. I was watching a guy react to the movie Up for the first time. This guy had never seen the movie before, and he was like, unexpected. He was like, all he knew was there was a cranky old guy and a kid, and it started out with the like, you know what it starts out. It starts with Ellie, and Ellie's amazing. And then it just like goes down, and it's like 11 minutes in this movie makes me cry harder than like all the Twilight films. And I've rewatched those things dozens of times. I rewatched the Twilight films, the 50 Shades of Grey ones. Regardless of the fact of what's going on with them, they do not make me cry as hard ever. Well, that's fun. That's gonna be fun. All the streams experience. Yeah, cool. Drop frames. Streams just drop slides. Cool. Anywho, we're experiencing the joy of drop frames. Don't know what's causing it. Can't really tell you. No idea. So we're just gonna have to power through, aren't we? So I'm gonna press record on this, so that way I will record my stream, so I can like compile any dropped moments with like my actual moments. It's gonna be a fun day. So I had like I had an interesting day. I had an exam this morning, and it was like, the exam was okay. It's essentially what the exam was like 400 characters in Japanese about like one of like 6 topics, and the topics were madness. So they ranged from like, what was an experience you hated, through to the education system of Japan. I was like, cool, I'm gonna pick the education system of Japan, because incidentally, I actually know more words for that one than I do for like a bad experience I've had, because apparently not only have I blocked out bad experiences I've had, I've also blocked out the vocabulary needed to tell other people about the bad experiences I've had. My bad experience would be like, I had a fun trip. Essentially, I had a trip with friends, like after one of my friends had come back from, they went on exchange for a year to China, and they came back, and we were like, woo, time to do a party trip, and we like went for a trip down to like this place called Yamba, which, if you've never heard of it, not a surprise. Most people have not heard of this place. This is, so, backing up, we have this thing called schoolies here in Australia. The essentially, like, it's not, I don't know if it's super popular anymore, but essentially want to know what network I'm connected on, because honestly, whatever I'm connected to keeps dropping out. Let's see. No, that's the one. Do you ever have those moments where you're just like, what happened? What's going wrong? Okay. Cool. Delightful. Hey, tiny little Anna. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Bear Cave. I hope you're having a good day. I just was like casually having some network problems. I think it's because I had a VPN on and I forgot that I had a VPN on, and so it was just like having a connection with my network. Because it was like, haha, you're on a VPN, so you must be in Seattle. And it was like, you know, VPN's like this weaker connection, so it was like a weaker connection sending through like a faraway network place, and it was just like, it was all having a moment. So I'm like, cool, great. Well, the drop frames have gone, so winner, me. How's your day going? I hope you're having a good day. And you can see obviously that Animal Crossing isn't on the screen yet, but it is in fact up and over here on my TV, so I will be playing it shortly. I was having like a minor like, this is what happened when I went on vacation, and this is why I couldn't explain it in Japanese. Because how do you explain, like, you went on a trip, it was semi-enjoyable, but you got like sand lice, and you didn't go in the water even though your friends were like, we're going to the beach so we can spend time in water. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. I'm like, I had work, I had a uni exam, which is like where the rant came from, and now I'm playing Animal Crossing, and I'm like, we're gonna do some fairly boring daily activities. I call them fairly boring. They feel tedious to me because I do them so often, but I'm like, I found a way, we're gonna shortcut around it, because essentially, what we've got to do in this is I've got to finish cataloging the things on this beach for 2 characters, then move them to my other island to dump them, and then, well, technically 3, but I'm gonna use the 3rd one to move the items over, because I'm like, this just saves me a whole bunch of pain in the butt if she moves it over for me, so then it counts as cataloging, but it also counts as moving the items. So it's essentially, you'll get to like see a peek of the other island I made to avoid flattening this one, but have decided to flatten this one anyways. Yeah, this isn't my bedroom, this is my desk area. So it's just manic. My desk area is a little bit of chaos. Do I read all these books? Well, I kinda do. So a lot of these are D&D and like gaming books, so they've got like cool... Do I have one I can easily grab? Let's see. I can reach one. I can reach it. Aha! Success. Nailed it. So this one, for instance, is the Breath of the Wild one. And it's got like all the Breath of the Wild stuff in it. So most of these are like gaming books, to be fair. So I don't really read all of them. I use a lot of them because a lot of them are like guidebooks for like different games I've played, especially that one, because that one, so I bought this one to help me out with Koroks. It does not help you with Korok hunting. It's actually the least helpful thing I've ever found for Korok hunting, because like it just has like a generic map, so it just gives like these big ass generic maps with like tiny dots on them that are color coded for like the kind of thing you have to do for that Korok, and I'm like, how is this helpful? How is this helpful? The shrines all have detailed, like, pictures and information on how to get to each one of them. I understand that there's 900 Koroks. That's right, 900 of these suckers. But I feel like they could have at least put, hey, Korok A is on this tree. I personally feel they could. IGN did one. They had, like, a bunch of pages. No, it's okay. You don't need to know anything about games to enjoy watching and talking about games. I myself, a couple of years ago, complete dodo when it came to like gaming things. My now ex, like the boyfriend I had at the time, who's now my ex, he was really into the game The Last of Us. I have since actually bought The Last of Us, haven't played it, tried it. He had me like try and play the game, and I was like, what's the big deal about this game? Like, it can't be like that good or anything. Like, I've never heard of it. So there's like all these games that I've never heard of and never played, especially a lot of the retro games. Like, if it was pre PlayStation 2, I have no idea. And in fact, most of the ones before, like in that window anyways, I have no idea about. Because my family and I, like, gaming was like the bottom of the we can afford to buy it list. So we bought a lot of like secondhand, or my dad bought them. So we had maybe like 7 PlayStation games. One of them was mine, like only mine. I have it actually still behind there, and I just played them all the time, and like, so I got really good at those games. So I did game. I just only played like specific ones. In fact, one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. So THQ Nordic has actually been looking at about a lot of retro games, and they're actually planning on redoing them. So that's what they did with the SpongeBob game that came out earlier this year, late last year. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. It was from the PlayStation 2, and they revamped it. And they released it again on Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Which, woo, but one of my favorite games from my childhood is on the list, and I'm like, eventually they'll get around to it, and they'll actually make it, like, remaster it, because they remastered one of the Wii games I used to play when we had the Wii. It was not good on Wii. I never recommend anyone to play it on Wii. You hope you can be with me? I hope you can be with him. No, I'm fine. Me and him are good. I have a boyfriend. He's lovely. This guy who, like, it was Max, actually dumped him. Because he was, like, cheating on me. And I found out. So I was like, well, we weren't happy anyways, so bye. That's essentially what happened with me and him, because he was, like, he was unhappy, I was unhappy, we were avoiding it completely, and he like started like cheating on me. So I was like, and I found out because one of the girls told me, and I was like, all right, cool, it's problem solved, I guess. Cool. And so like that's fine, but as a result, I like have this memory of The Last of Us and being like forced to play it and being trash at it, and just having to like be laughed at while playing it. So I watched a playthrough of the like game around the time because I was like, I wanted to know what the story for it was. Oh no, it's fine. It helped me realize that I needed to take a little bit of time off dating, because I dated a series of guys for like a longer period of time that didn't make me happy, and I kind of was like letting my needs go to try and like make them happy and be everything I could for them, and like not like telling them when I wasn't happy. So I just didn't date for like a year after him. I stopped dating. Yeah, I kind of hope he gets punched too, but I also had to dump him twice because he drove to my house. So I had to do it twice. Once via text, once via driving to my house. It was awkward. I had to use the I need to focus on my studies excuse, and then I just did. I spent like a whole year just focusing on my like studies and like not talking to, like dating at all. Then I dated a couple of like other people who were kind of eh, and now I have my current boyfriend, and like I'm doing great. Thank you. No, it's fine. Like, that's life. You like, the thing is, every person you come across, every person you meet, every person you date, you should look at them as either you've learned something from them, they've taught you something, or you've taught them something. Like, there has to be some kind of exchange in like the interaction. You never date before, shame on me. No, like, it's fine. I know that dating can be really like difficult for some people and intense. I personally have always, I had problems with it when I was younger, but once I turned 18 and I started like doing dating site dating, I didn't really have that same kind of problem because I'm a nerd, and apparently we're a dying breed of females. Doubt it, because there's 56% of gamers are apparently women. Like, I think it's like it's like the 42% or whatever. Like, it's one of the two percentages, and so there's a lot of female like gamers out there, from a wide range of gaming, by the way. And so, you know, it's not that challenging, I guess. But most of the guys I dated, they were people that like I had a feeling like things weren't working out after a short window of time, but rather than like talk about it and end it sooner than I should have, or that sooner than it like sooner, I let it carry on for far too long. But it's fine because it led me to where I am now, who I am. So it all kind of like works out the way it's supposed to, you know? So like as long as it works out, it's fine. Which is great. You try one time, but the boy said he would never stay with me because I use a wheelchair, and after that, oh my god, that's awful. No, that's dreadful. Shit, dude. Yeah, no, you'd, like, that guy, fuck him, honestly. Sorry my language if you don't use the F word, but, yeah, no, like, screw him. The thing, I've met some lovely, lovely people in this world, some disabled, some not, and the thing is, there's a person out there for everyone, and you just gotta find the right person for you. I have friends who, like, they have certain requirements that, like things that you have to, like, be okay with dating them, and I'm like, the guys who weren't, and the people who weren't, it's just like, screw them. Like, then obviously it wasn't like, no, it's fine, I like, it's all good. I speak, how many languages? Let's see. Sorry, I speak Japanese, Chinese, German, a little Spanish. I can understand a tiny bit of Italian, a little bit of French. I can read some Russian. So honestly, it's perfectly fine. The fact that you're, like, learning English, in fact, I do actually look at it and I'm like, damn, it's such a difficult language. Like, anyone who tries to learn English, I, like, marvel at it because it's such a challenge. No, it's just like something that I love doing. It's not something everyone can do. I acknowledge that not everyone wants to learn a language or like can do it at the same kind of like way. So everyone actually like learns things differently, and so the same thing applies to languages. I was watching this video on like the best ways to like learn like languages, and it was like trial and error. So some people learn better by like learning all the grammar, some people learn better by like practicing with people, some people do it better by learning all the vocabulary they can and then like figuring out the grammar as they go. Other like some people learn better by watching TV shows. Like, it's different for every single person, and that's something that I love so much about languages. Your first is Portuguese from Brazil. Oh, that's awesome. I think yours is like Latin based, like historically Latin based. So yours is one of the Romantic languages, along with French, Italian, and Spanish from like memory, but I could be wrong. It's why you'll find a lot of like words like their contact language words, but that's also from like trade. I find it interesting how like historically the words themselves, like contact wise, like it'll rub off on each other. Like for instance, in Japan there's something called Osakaban, which is just a dialect. So it's kind of like how in the US there's an accent in every single like state, or like even within the same state you'll get different accents. And different ways of people speaking, so it's like the difference between people being like, oh, y'all versus you all, or like that kind of thing. So Osakaban is kind of like that. It's kind of just for me like a dialect of English. Maybe closer to like the difference between like British English and Australian English, or like Australian or American English. Like there's like the different ones. So this kind of like is like that. It's like just a different version of Japanese. And, like, I think it's been heavily influenced by, like, Portuguese in parts, because there was actually, like, a lot of Portuguese people who were, like, in the city for a period of time. It was actually, like, occupied at one point. So it was one of the few cities that actually had, like, occupation in Japan, because Japan was very, like, closed off, but it actually had a fair number of, like, foreigners in the city, and so that's kind of, like, rubbed off, I think, on, like, the dialect from that city. Like, dude, this is like years of education. Trust me, I'm still dumb on plenty of things. Promise. Everyone has their own different specialty. If you want to ask me about politics for the US, can't tell you. Absolutely have no idea. It baffles me. But I can tell you about like history of Japan, history of Australia, history of like some of the Asian countries, like languages stuff. I can talk to you about it because I did a little bit of linguistics. I don't remember all of it, but I can, like, bits of it I still remember. So there's, like, some stuff that I'm like, on the ball with. And then other stuff I'm just like, no fucking idea. Like, honestly, no fucking idea whatsoever. I'm like, great. No, what do you want from me? Like, for instance, when there's like all this stuff online about political stuff, I'm just like, I can't help you. Can't help you, man. But I can like talk about like historically like stuff happening because I'm a history student. So, did you ever see one kangaroo? That's with a K, by the way. Yeah, I'm from Australia. That's why I put the AUS in there. So it's kangaroo. Yeah, I've seen a kangaroo. There's the thing called Australia Zoo here in Queensland, where I'm from. And so you can, like, drive there, and they have kangaroos, koalas, snakes, like, lizards, crocodiles. There's, like, a wide variety of, like, Australian wildlife. Wallabies. They also have some wallabies from memory. So I've actually gone there and seen and like been near kangaroo. I think they only let you really, really close to like wallabies because the thing is, kangaroos can actually be a little more aggressive than wallabies, from my understanding. Plus, wallabies are a little smaller, so they usually only let you go like pet wallabies because they're like hip height. Whereas a kangaroo, if it gets on its back tail and hits you in the chest with its like legs, it can actually crush a human chest and like kick you backwards because that's what they like fight with. They'll like get on their back tail and like fight with their legs because they have like tiny stumpy arms. You can like, I know people who like lived in the bush when I was in high school. There's people who were like from farming like towns and stuff, and so some of them would like, some of their families would occasionally like feed kangaroos or wallabies, but you couldn't really like tame one and have as a pet. You could just kind of like have one as like, kind of like when you feed like feral cats. They're not like your pet, but you like, they're in like your area and they'll like sometimes like come near you and be kind of sweet. It's kind of like that. Or like if you have like deer near your house and you feed them and they just sometimes come and visit. It's kind of in that same like range of like pet, if you want to call it that. It's like pet-ish. You know, if you stop feeding it, they'll eventually go away, and they're not really your pet. They're just a wild animal. But like if you feed them enough, they'll keep coming back. It's kind of like a routine, which is kind of nice. We only have possums near me, and they're kind of destructive. They're cute. I understand that like bush possums are cute. Not a big fan of them, honestly. I could live without them. So you know, that's just the way it is. But a lot of people really like koalas, which amuses me because they're kind of dumb and they smell. They smell really bad if you've ever touched one. So the only animal you see is dog, cat, bird, and horse. Oh yeah, I don't like. Well, that's. I know that we have like horses here too. So like they were brought over. They're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They were kind of, you know where you have like, the word I'm looking for. I know there's a word for it. I can't remember the word for it, but it's where you like bring animals from one country to another, and so you like kind of try and like make them like native to that area as well. So like here we have like cows, sheep, horses that were all brought over from like England and Scotland, because they wanted ones that were like rougher. Do I have a sister? No, that was my mother. She can behave like you would expect a sister to sometimes. you know, interrupting you, coming in and like being like, hey, we need to chat, even though I know this is the only time you're doing something. And we had like the whole day to talk. We gotta do it now. Like exactly the same. Sibling would probably be less complicated. Because you can tell a sibling to like go away and not get yelled at. So, no. Depends on the day. She does this every single time I stream. See, she'll like stay up super late sometimes. Super, super late. Yeah, you got the little bear Viking there. That's really cool. You got it. I love my bear Viking. It's an adorable little thing. I love my mom. It's just sometimes I'm just like, she doesn't respect like this. She doesn't really know what it is, to be fair. She calls it zooming, which yeah, I'm very proud of, like, I made it. I actually made all my emotes for my like channel, and this like the different badges, and I'm really like pleased with them. So I'm you know, I've made all of them, and I'm very pleased with how they've turned out. These two up here, I actually like, this is the 1 month, and this is the 2 month, and I made the two of them. So I'm just like, it brings me greater joy. You know? So yeah, I was like, I've actually, like, the last time I went to Australia Zoo was when I was maybe like 10. And this was back when Steve Irwin was still alive, and so he actually ran the Croc show back then. So they actually like requested Graham. And so Graham is like the big angry croc. They actually have like a history, and so it was pretty funny. It was like my granddad, me, and my mom. My mom ended up talking with Terry, with like Bindi in her arms. So I've actually kind of like semi met Bindi, but she was like a baby, and I barely remember it. Sorry. Yeah, you miss your mother? I don't suppose you want mine. I can give you mine. She's special. Let's see. So here's the Animal Crossing. We're gonna, while I'm chatting, I'll do the catalog. Cause she's like, I want to get sleep, and I'm like, good for you. She came to bed early. And I'm like, I made a plan for when I was gonna end, so she doesn't get to tell me. It drives me mental. Because I can't actually do it earlier because of other things that I have to get done. And I can't reverse the order of the things I have to get done, which makes me sad. Oh well. I'm sure she'd be nice to you. She's not nice to me, but it depends on the day. It's all situational. That reminds me, I need that. So her behavior is situational. Oh well, that's what you get for living at home. Eventually I'll move out and she'll get all the quiet she wants. And she won't be able to complain at me because she'll have no one to complain to. Or about. She'll get all the sleep. I hope she's looking forward to it. So I think this is where... Yeah, I think I've got one more I can do. And then I gotta place one. This cataloging is what I like. I was doing it earlier and I was just like... I was doing for a couple characters and like each one took like 6 minutes. And I was like, oh my god. Will I do stream with my boyfriend? Maybe. She only wants to talk to me when I'm doing this. Anyways, after like work today, I finally got to pick up this game thing that I've been wanting. It was supposed to come in like August, and then like didn't come until like
11 o'clock.
because unfortunately I have like a job during the day, so I can't do this during the day like I'd want to, which kind of makes me sad. You know where it's like there's a thing that you'd rather be doing with your life, but you can't do it because you have to do this other thing that kind of sucks all the joy out of your day? It's exactly like that. What is my work? So I work in like... So I'm not gonna share exactly what I do for my job because it's like we're not supposed to. But essentially it's like customer service. And the people aren't very nice most of the time. And the work isn't, and the pay isn't very good. Like, it's better than nothing, but it's also like a lot of people I know have left because they can get better pay elsewhere and better hours. Which, you know, I understand it. It still sucks. Okay, dude. Like, you know, it happens. I appreciate that like occurs. But I might have to start streaming exactly when I get home. Because my mother is going to keep doing this to me all the time. Which sucks. Because I don't disturb her when she's watching TV. I don't disturb her when she's playing games. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about my mother. Because she doesn't make me happy either. But, yeah, like, I got a new mug the other day. Because I saw one in the shop for 10 bucks. And it was like an Animal Crossing themed one. I was like, oh my god. So cute. So adorable. You ever like see something and you're just like, that is the cutest thing I've seen in a long time. And so I like picked it up and I was like, oh my god, it's adorable. So now I have it here and I'm like, once I wash it out, I'll start using it on the days where I like, like play Animal Crossing. Yeah. What do you do, by the way? Do you like work? Are you a student? Out of curiosity, like, you don't have to tell me. It's fine if you don't want to tell or share. That's perfectly fine. I know that apart from like streaming, I also do like uni work. So I'm like uni student, so certain days I don't stream at all. Because like, you know, I've got to study. You work in street almost every day. I mean, that sounds about as much fun as the job I have. I hope you at least, you know, semi-enjoy what you're doing. Have some fun while you're at it. Or at least, like, you're getting enough, you know.
The last two things.
Sorry, my mother keeps coming back out. It's real, like, buzzkill. I think I'm gonna just have to start doing it earlier so that way she can't pull this nonsense anymore. Because I was, like, going until later, because I was like, I can do it like that, you know? Because, like, she was going to bed at, like, midnight. And so it was fine to, like, do it for a couple hours each night and just, you know, then pick up from that point, like, after that. But now she's coming to bed at, like, 10 or 11 o'clock just because I do this now. I think just semi, which is fine. You gotta go to bed earlier. It's not very fun, there's a lot of bad people there. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that you don't have a lot of bad people there. I'm sorry that you're listening to my, like, semi-petty complaint about my mother. I do love her, it's just, I wish she'd be a bit more considerate sometimes of me. She does stuff for me, but then she uses it against me as I do these things for you, which doesn't seem fair. Which, we're not in therapy. It's fine. I don't need to air my problems. I should stop complaining about her, because it's like a private circle of bullshit. No, it's fine. She's gone to bed. She's gonna come out again probably in like an hour to complain at me. Or better yet, she'll complain that she couldn't get to sleep. She tried to put it on me the other night, but I was like, I just had the lights on. Just to be special. Anywho, enough talking about my mother. So essentially with, like, I'm gonna get back to talking about Animal Crossing because it's much more cheerful and much more fun. So essentially there's like a plan I have of like things that need to be done, things that need to happen in order for me to like actually, you know, like save this stream address. So essentially for you it's it's nighttime. It's 10:30, which I've been informed is a normal time for people to go to bed. So I'm gonna have to just start doing this when I get home at 6, after I get changed. Just, you know, and then do other stuff after I end the stream. Because my mother is a special cookie. But I don't want to give up streaming because it makes me happy, unlike everything else I do. Just kind of like your studies need to come first. But I hate university nowadays. I'm just trying to finish my degree, honestly. I just want to be over with. I don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know where I really want to go from there, but I just want it to be finished. I've been studying for a long time, like a really long time. And I'm just kind of like over studying, you know? So yeah, it's just life. You know, you gotta like accept the fact that sometimes you have to do sucky things that you don't like, just so you can do the things you do like and do enjoy. So I'm complaining about having to move my stream time earlier, but I'm like, it'll be fine. It's the thing I actually like doing, so I'll just have to change up my like other overall schedule of like things I do. So I'll start streaming probably like 2 hours earlier, so she can't complain to me about me going an hour later because she's supposed to be going to bed at 11:30. So me going until 11:30 is perfectly fine. I'm just being petty. You ever have those moments where you're like the like super petty thing that you want to do and you're like, aha, excellent. The pettiness shall continue. I have those days sometimes where like I just want to do something really super petty and be like, ah, achieved. I know it's a little ridiculous, like, doing something petty just cause, like, just to bring yourself a little bit of like, joy, but it sometimes can be a little fun. Like, if it's not hurting anyone, and people are fine, it doesn't matter as much doing, like, the odd, like, petty thing. Do-do-do. Boop, boop, boop. Cataloging is, like, probably one of my least favorite tasks, I'd say. I remember, so, like, briefly I decided to catalog everything in the game once, at one point. So I went to a treasure, like, I went to an island that had laid every single item out, right? I don't know if they did it individually or if they spawned it all, no idea. But I went back and forth to the island, like, I paid, and it was unlimited visits, because there was expected crashing, and they're like, it's, like, be aware that other people may be using it too, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But I went back and forth to this island. Oh man, maybe 6 or, like, it had to be more. It was probably 8 times across this day. I managed to catalog every item in the game, but it took me like 8 hours. I'd stayed up all night to do it because I was like, my Wi-Fi was the best at night. And at the time, I was having issues with connectivity on my Switch. It was constantly dropping out, constantly having these kinds of connection issues, and I was like, not my Switch. I tried everything. I tried everything to fix it, honestly. I tried getting the network, I tried being closer to the network, I tried, like, making sure all my other, like, things were turned off, I tried making sure, like, all the other things were in airplane mode. I tried everything. Literally everything. I couldn't, like, find anything to fix the issue. So, I was like, cool, well, guess the issue won't get fixed then. But eventually, I did like it's like a reset, kind of with my Switch, because apparently, like, stuff can get cluttered up in there. So I essentially just turned it off. I forgot the network, I turned it off, and then I turned it back on again. That's what happened. Nothing super crazy. You know that old, like, if you try turning it off and on again thing? Yeah, it was exactly that. It fixed it. I was like, ooh, excellent. What to do? But yeah, this, like, section of my beach, I'm just like, I need to clean it up because I want to decorate it. I've decided that this part of my beach is going to be, like, so you see this area down here, this, like really cute little area. I want to extend it. I want to extend it into, like, the rest of, like, this part. Because I think that would be adorable. Just having, like, a longer area of the beach. Because the thing is, people, like, come down to the beach and they'll, like, miss it entirely because it's kind of hidden out of the way. So if I have the market come all the way down to here and have, like, this is the entrance into the market instead, it might be better, you know? It might be a little better as, like, a dream address. But that's kind of what I'm trying to do, make this a really good dream address, essentially. Okay. You can water around. Okay, that covers this guy. Done. So now on to Watson. So essentially what the plan is. So I need to move all the items onto a second island. I need to fix up that beach area. I have to do a like full tour of my island and record it. So I can make sure to get all the sounds of every single place on my island like perfect. You know, because you want to make sure that it's all like perfectly like there. You don't want to like miss anything. Because I'm planning on making a video out of it and uploading it. So I'm like, that part has to be fixed and good. Okay, yeah. Okay, close on that. On to Watson. Let's see. When it gets to the point of like moving it all to the other island, which I'm probably gonna do last, I'll have to make a dodo on the other island, move it over. So E. I don't know. It's just like a thought that I always get. It's like, you want your island to be perfect-ish and cute. Because I want to make sure every single house, like every room inside every house, is like well designed, looks good. Because essentially, I'm going to keep a lot of the rooms the way they are for the moment. There's a couple of people's houses that I'm actually going to erase some of their rooms. Because I'm not happy with some of the rooms. After all this time, their rooms need a refresh. Or at least a couple of the rooms need a refresh, essentially. To what is a whole question. Who knows what I'm changing it to. Probably something more like cozy, because I'm going to be moving their houses into autumn. So essentially you have to like make everything a bit more cozy, a bit more warm. Change up like what kind of furniture they've got in their homes, or at least like customize them to be different. Because you're like, essentially you're changing the whole vibe of the island. Which, you know, is perfectly fine. I also gotta remember to pick up like random stuff. I'm really bad at like leaving random items out. Boop. Plus I gotta move 4 days until I'm on the day that like has all the fruit. Because I want all the fruit trees to be like in bloom at the same time as like the dream address is being saved. So that way all the fruit is there, like all the decorations are there. I want all the pumpkins to be there. Portable. Dude. Why did I need a portable record player? That is the real question. I'm like, what exactly did I get the portable record player for? Oh, it's because of the color. Okay. I have a portable record player in one of my rooms, and it's just like, it's not the right color for this room. So that's what this is for. The thing is, music players in the same, like a certain vicinity of each other will pick up the song and play it the same way at the same time. And so, by doing this, it meant that I didn't have to re-select the song that needs to be in this room, which is great. Okay. I always wonder, because there's so many items that are like clothing things, I always wonder why the phone booths aren't like dressers the same as all these other like random objects. There's all these random objects that are like, oh yeah, you want to enter into this? Well, it's actually a closet. And you're like, why are you a closet? Like, really, why? Like, why? So, let's see. Alright, so I'm checking to see whether or not she has some of these clothes, or if I want to give her some of these clothes. So, like, some of them are probably the wrong style for her. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. Might still get that. That. Do I have the clover dresses? I have the white one. Nurse's outfits. It's always hard to like make sure you find all of them because they're all spread out. So I have a nurse's outfit. Here's the pink one. Pink. Security uniform. Nope. Don't need that still. Jesus, sometimes these lights are a bit bright. Oh, she animal boots. Cool network. Pretty sure I don't have that anymore. That. Okay, she has the wingtips. I don't know if this is boring, but it's just like daily nonsense that has to be done. I have black and red. Crib. Excellent. Let me get a check on these two shirts. Okay. Let's see. Bowling, high bowling. I love how many clothing items are on Animal Crossing. The problem is, like, it's so easy to fill up your storage. So you gotta, like, keep a hold of which ones you have so you can make sure not to, like, double up. It's far too easy to do that. Like, when I, like, originally ran out of storage space, I went into my storage and found out I had, like, 6 of, like, the same clothes, like the dress or, like, shirt, and I was like, ugh, why? Special. I do the same thing with DVDs. I've recently discovered I have some multiple of the same DVD, and I'm like, could give it away. Could sell it. I'm probably gonna sell it to like get the money back or some of it that came on that DVD. I forgot I can't go through that. I change every once in a while when I change the paths. I'm like, I can't get through there. And it's like, no, you still can. It just takes a little bit of roundabout walking and work. And then I was like, oh, there it is. There's the entrance. It's like this tree. I'm waiting for this tree to grow as well. In relation to the dream address. You know, like making one. I mean. Because you want to make sure when you make one. Because the thing is, once I've made it, I'm destroying so much of this island. I'm just like essentially wiping it flat. And I'm like, I don't know. Jeez, now I'm tired. She really knows how to wipe me out, honestly. Does everyone get that moment after like an argument and they're just like, now I feel tired. Now you just want to crash and go to bed. Which is exactly what she wants. Which sucks. So we're probably gonna do the dailies a lot, so no. Okay, spoken with Sable. I might do the moving of the other parts of my own time. So I don't bore people with like all the trips back and forth from this other island. Yeah, I like that. Also the blue. Do that first. Do. Don't actually think she has these ribbons. Or the pineapple hat. Okay, pineapple hat. First it is. Do. So many things. Man, sometimes I look at like me picking these things up and I'm like, why? You know? Where you like look at these kind of like, oh yeah, this is an adorable item, but now I gotta buy it in like 7 colors. And you have to like go in and out constantly to do it, because you can't like mass purchase anything, because that would be too convenient. This game is built on making like everything less convenient. I don't know why it's built that way. Like, I don't know if it's intentional. Bum, 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 bum. I don't even know if I have enough money on Watson to buy all these things right now. Might have to like go to town hall and then come back and be like, ugh, not again. It's a very cute dress. Do, 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 do. Okay. Do, 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 do. Her boots. One. This one part of the game is honestly the most tedious part of the entire thing. You think that they would make this like the most streamlined, the easiest thing to do, you know, like moving through shopping shouldn't be this complicated. It shouldn't be this difficult. It should be simpler, you know? Like the very act of shopping itself doesn't need to be some kind of like stress-inducing haze where you're like, oh, what happened? Do, do, do. Gray. Do, 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 do. Okay, so we've done that one. Excellent. But no, like, I was doodling at work today, and I'm like, come to this like decision that like I'm gonna try and make some like Halloween themed like overlays for when like October comes, either during or beforehand. It's gonna be interesting to see like whether or not they come together before. Does anyone else forget, like, when they're at, like, what ribbon? It's like, what ribbon am I at? I know. I'll pick this one. If it's not the right one, well, oh well. And at the moment, they're doing, like, No, but no, at the moment they're doing like $5 piercings near, like, in this store near my work, and I'm like, once sake season's over, I'm gonna get myself maybe a couple more piercings. Which is gonna be driving me mental with these headphones. I'm like, I'm gonna have to find other headphones to wear in the interim when it comes to, like, headphones. Yeah, she doesn't have the money for it. Surprise. I knew Watson was running out of money, but I was like, I thought we had a little bit longer. But not to spoil anything, like, this is kind of like where the drawing is starting out for me when it comes to, like, trying to do an overlay for like, the holidays. I'm gonna have to have a look and see if I can find one that, like how you go about making them, how complicated it is, all that stuff. But yeah, I wanted to show you 2 games I got today. I'd never even heard of these games before, honestly. Like, never. I'd never seen graphics for them, I'd never heard of them. But I saw one of them, it was pre-owned, and the other one is like something else. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that'd be something worth, like, getting to try out, like, in my own time, maybe do a review of them, like, unusual physical games you may never have heard of. You know what I mean? Well, this officially hits that list, you know? So it's one called Chicken Police, Paint It Red. It doesn't come with anything, but essentially Chicken Police is a buddy cop noir adventure with a carefully crafted world, a gritty story, and a lot of absurd humor, which sounds fantastic. And this one, which is Rustler, win over the kingdom or tear it down, commit grand theft horse, for a historically inaccurate sandbox, and live the medieval ruffian life. So, like, they're both games I've, like, never heard before. One of them not even has a separate sticker. So, like, the base sticker, it's not enough. We gotta put a bigger sticker on it. You know, make sure you really and truly know that this is, like, for mature audiences, because I want to know what it was before. It was Peggy 16. I don't know what that is. Because we use, like, the movie ratings here in Australia. I don't know if, I think Peggy is the US one, so it might have been a pre-owned game from the US. Which, you know, is, like, perfectly fine. I know that a couple of games I have are pre-owned ones from, like, overseas, because they're like, this can't be registered in your region. I'm like, fine. You know? It's like, well, I guess if you don't want it. Oh, no, Mellow Forest. Where is everyone? They can't all be asleep. It's like, I think it's like 9:30 in the game. They should all be awake by now. You know, awake, conscious, alert. I'm genuinely curious what Peanut's making. Do 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 do. But no, it was just like when I did my exam, it was like the 5 options, and I was like, well, I know how to say all these ones in English, but I don't know how to say all of them in Japanese, and we were not allowed to like use a dictionary. Like they were like, no, you can't use a dictionary, you can't use like extra books. It's gotta be all you. Like, what if your audio sounds trash? Because the thing is, most people like they'll listen in for the good audio, and then if your audio is garbage, they'll like tune out. You know? Do, do, do. It's like my audio on my system looks like broken. I'm like, you broken? You good? Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Onward. Forward march. F. Does anyone else ever hear that and they're like, why is that what popped in my head? Of all things. Sully is such a cute little villager. Doo doo. Doo. I don't know, I love my AC island, but I'm just like, it's time. It's time for it to step up, it's time for it to move on, it's time for the change on this island. It's gonna be a moment of moving, deciding, selling, and bringing it all down. However, I'm sure it's gonna be like, you remember those moments and you're like, this is delightful, when you're doing something you're like, you know, not all bad. I had one of those moments where I was trying to find the DIY bottle for one of my villages. I was searching for like an hour and something and I just couldn't find it. I was like, oh yeah. Right. Cool. Couldn't find it. Well, now you can. Oh. I was just like, where is it? When I thought, no. Okay, leaf mask. Do. See. Okay. So, I think I've come to a conclusion about like Tuesdays, I think, for streaming in the future, and like my streams in general. I think I'm just gonna have to start streaming a couple hours earlier. because I start to get a little tired around this time. I'm like, after I wrap up stream, I'm usually energized again. I'm like, where is this energy like 20 minutes earlier? But this way I'll also like avoid having to deal with this nonsense with my mother again. Because I know you guys are probably tired of my mother stopping by me having to pause whenever I'm in a conversation, because she'll just stand and wait. And wait. So I think in the future I'm going to do several hours earlier. Dinner be damned. When it's time, like I'll go up and grab it. And you'll just get to enjoy me eating dinner on stream while we like chat and game. And it'll be fine. So I'm just having a look at something, so I'm going to be muting desktop audio while I do it. So, how are all of your days going? You guys having a good day? Let's see, cause I'm really tired and I think I'm actually gonna raid this one guy, cause I'm like, essentially I'm just like, tired, but you can do this raid or this one if you're subbed. Is it 2 space? No, I think it's all one word. Yep, there it is. So ignore the fact it just shows up as text by the bot. If you're subbed, it does actually work. So I'm actually gonna raid this guy because he's just starting and I'm very tired. It's been an hour and I was like, I was gonna stream no matter what, and I did. And I'm pissed that my mom, the argument with her made me so tired. But I'm gonna start streaming earlier in the future, so I don't have to have myself so quiet, so I can be as loud as I want because it's not bedtime and she shouldn't be going to bed yet. And I can finish them before she's going to bed. So this might be one of the last DGen streams, although I probably will still stream a little later on Saturdays, because they're more like chill out, relaxed, not as talkative ones. Anyways. We're going to start the raid to them because I know that they've just started, so they're still going. I'm sorry that I'm ending so soon, but I want to thank everyone who came around and was here, who is lurking, who's followed, who's chatted, who hasn't, who has shown me continual support by showing up and being here. Honestly, all of you guys mean so much to me. You really do. I'm sorry I like raided early today, and I think it was like Thursday last week, but with starting those couple hours earlier, I'm also going to be a lot more awake and likely not as tired, so I'll be able to stream for longer, which is great, because I want to be able to provide that kind of entertainment and like chill, cozy environment for you guys. So hopefully they're okay with this rating, because they sound super lovely. And I wanted to like thank all of you guys for being here, and I hope to see you guys again next time. If not, it's been lovely having you here. It'll continue to be lovely having you here, and I honestly hope you all have an amazing day tomorrow. So let's raid.